The AC is running right now, but it runs like 24/7 basically. So excuse the ambient background noise. It is unavoidable during the summer. Anyways, hey guys, it's Dawn and welcome back to my channel. Since this is a Camp NaNoWriMo intro video, I feel like some new people might pop on. So if you are new, here's a brief introduction about me. My name is Dawn Kozak. I'm an aspiring author hoping to be traditionally published someday with a focus on adult fantasy. I do write in some other genres, but like I said, that is my focus and that is where my debut will fall. My content isn't as focused and curated as I know it should be, so I have like writing vlogs, I have reading related content, I have random writing content, so browse through my backlist and if you see titles that interest you, be sure to subscribe. I totally appreciate it. Anyways, let's talk about what I'm working on this July. So if you've been here for a while, you already know the project I've been focusing on the past few months is The Elf and the Goblin. It is a gunpowder fantasy which has a basic premise that is heavily inspired by Pride and Prejudice. It doesn't follow the beats of Pride and Prejudice per se, but it's inspired by the basic concept, and I would also say it's like a Beauty and the Beast sort of story as well, so if that gives you an idea. It also features my favorite fantasy trope, elves versus goblins. I just think it's timeless. There's so many things you can do with it. It's very adaptable and I never get tired of it personally. So big fan of elves and goblins, and they of course feature heavily in a book called The Elf and the Goblin. Our main character, Ildrana, is a high elvish woman who is forced into an arranged marriage situation with a goblin named Taja Valek, who is a veteran of the Revolutionary War that resulted in a piece of the Empire breaking off and becoming a majority goblin country in this very elf-dominated world. But yeah, that's the basic premise. I had a lot of fun writing the zero draft / first draft. I'm really not sure how to define it because it was actually a novella that I wrote for the Indie Bookworm book box. It was a super fun process. I fell in love with this story that I actually came up with from scratch for the box and decided to take it further. So I expanded the original novella into a more detailed, more expansive novel that covers more characters, more of the setting, and a lot more fantasy world building, which is very exciting because, like a lot of fantasy writers, I love world building. So I had actually been working on the outline for, I think it was like 2 or 3 months, I think from March to or through May. And then in June, I actually started drafting. For some reason, I was feeling a little bit uninspired when I tried to write on the computer. So I made the kind of weird decision to draft by hand, at least for a little while. I don't know if I will draft the entire book by hand, but this is the notebook I have been using. Super, super cute one that I got from Target. It's just a floral print. And then I'll show you on the inside. It's got these cute little floral details on the pages. I've only gotten, let's see, 28 pages into the notebook. It's a 80 sheet journal, so that means there's 160 pages. So I'm not super far into it, but I did get a little bit of work done in June. I wrote the prologue and the first and second chapters. So my goal for July, which it'll be hard to track on the NaNoWriMo website, so maybe I'll just track it by like hours or something, minutes, whatever. But I actually want to fill up this notebook. So like I said, I've written 28 pages so far. I estimate that on a fully written page, so just one side, not both sheets, it's about 250 words. So based on that math, this notebook, when it's filled up, will have approaching 40,000 words, because obviously there's some pages where I finished a chapter, so it's only like half the pages filled, yada yada. So it'll approach 40,000 words, supposedly. We shall see. I'm not going to type it up until I've completely finished filling this out, so it'll kind of be fun to see at the end how many words this ended up being. But that is my goal for July, just to finish filling out this notebook as far as that takes me into the story. I have a backup notebook for when I fill this one up and if I decide I want to keep handwriting this draft. It's from the same line at Target. This one says private instead of notes and it's a much darker aesthetic, and then it doesn't have any artwork on the pages. But the pages, I don't know if you can tell, they're kind of tinted pink, which is really pretty. So there's my backup notebook for when this one is full and if I am not tired of handwriting at that point. We'll see. And if I am tired of handwriting, I can always use this for something else. That's not a big deal. So yeah, that's what I'm working on for July. Just drafting. I'm going in chronological order because it's easier to keep track of when you're handwriting, and I have a pretty detailed outline, so I don't think that'll be an issue. I'm also allowing myself to keep going back to my outline and editing and adding things as I need to so that I can continue to adapt the story as I move along and realize maybe something doesn't work and needs to be changed for later on in the story or whatever. I think throughout the course of the month, I'll try to do like weekly updates, vlogs if I can, but life is a little bit boring right now just because it's so hot here. So it's hard to leave the house and go do things just because it's kind of miserable outside. And so if you want to go do something, a lot of times it's somewhere you have to pay to go be inside a place and do an activity. So I don't know how interesting July is going to be to vlog other than the writing content. So I'll try to make the writing content as interesting as possible, but at the end of the day, I'm just writing in my notebook. So we'll see what interesting anecdotes I'll have to share. Anyways, I am super excited to hear what all of you guys are working on in July, whether you're participating officially in Camp NaNoWriMo or you're just doing your own thing, which is also totally cool. So let me know down in the comments if you would like to so that I can hear what you're doing. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're in a part of the world currently experiencing summer, please stay cool. It's hot out here, so I assume a lot of other people are having pretty rough weather, so try not to die. Try not to, okay? I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week and beginning of Camp NaNoWriMo, and as always, happy writing. Bye!